Hello, welcome to the new craft room. Today I've got nighttime golf photos, fern paper and a scorecard that was, being generous, an entire work of fiction. It did not reflect reality. The brief today is, can I make a layout that tells the story honestly, include the scorecard in it? Let's see if I can make it work. Today we're going through Metrifying, a sketch from Erin Jacobson. This is her April sketch. Looking forward to metrifying this. I'm Kerry, and every week on Focus Friday we find a way to make it work. These are the photos that I have. There's a funny story about the scorecard which I will share, and I'm going to put that in a pocket behind this large photo here. And I'm thinking the new Moonlit Flora paper is probably going to be perfect for the photos. So I've just fanned them all out, and you can see that they're dark and lots of green and a few pops of brighter colour. So I think these are going to work well for our photos. I've already laid the photos out in the format of the sketch. Pop some on here, you can see it's going to be really nice. In the sketch we've got a border and then 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces of paper, and I think in Erin's picture she had a white border and then she used kind of getting darker, so the deepest colour was at the bottom, which often is a good way to ground your photos. So I'm going to get some white paper stuck down and have a think about how these are going to work for me. So you might have noticed that my desk looks a bit different today. I am officially in the new craft room and I'm getting used to having a lot more space. So I've got a bit of a chest infection at the moment, so I'm not feeling 100%, so if my voice sounds a bit squeaky, that might be why. What I've done is I've picked out this paper from the Moonlit Flora, and then I thought it might be nice to pull in some of Nature Walk for a little bit more of a organic feel. And I know that sounds crazy, but quite a lot of the Moonlit Flora paper is quite geometric. So I thought it would be nice to get some of the Nature Walk. And when I went into the Nature Walk pack, I found this script piece, which obviously is perfect for pirates. And you can see it coordinates really well with the paving stones that are on that picture there. I thought that looked really nice, and this one is also from Nature Walk. And then I wanted a blue to go through here, and it is actually Secret Sea that's in the paper pack, but it just looked a bit heavy. And I tried another one from one of the mixed up pattern collections, and again that was Secret Sea and it was heavy, whereas this one was from one of the other mixing pattern collections, and this I think is actually Misty Moonlight, and that has got a white spot in it, so the white just lifts and brings the flowers out. And I think the blue works because there's a lot of denim in the pictures. A lot of people are wearing jeans, and Sky's shirt has got this blue check, so I think it's good to have a bit more of a rich blue, and I'm very happy with how they coordinate there together. There's no issue there for me. This is going to be the strips across, and then in the sketch there's also this piece of paper that these 3 square photos are mounted on, and they're supposed to be kind of the same colour as D, which I've used here as the spotty paper. So I probably will just look to get some cardstock of this colour. I might have a look at using one of my new embossing folders on that cardstock as well, see if there's anything there. But actually I've got the new Gentle Waves, which obviously pirates are on the sea, so maybe that works. You can see the pirate ship here on this one. So I'll get these cut now, and I'll have a look at embossing some of the Misty Moonlight cardstock as well. Paper's come along quite nicely, but I thought I would share with you that I used the Stampin' Cut embossing folder, the Soft Waves, and it's come out like this. It's a 6-inch folder, so I did one set and then another set, and then because I'm thinking about making it to be like the ocean, I'm just going to scuff it up a little bit. So I might just move my nice paper out the way. and then just have a go at scuffing this up a bit. And you see you can get like the white core comes out. I just thought that would be even more reminiscent of the sea with the white bits of the rolling waves. So you don't need to watch me do all of this, I'll finish it off camera. And then I thought it would be good probably just to rough up the edges as well. So I've got a little tool. I believe you can do this with your scissors, but I don't really trust myself. This way it stays nice and controlled. Just gonna put a little bit of a brown edge around the photos. I won't make you watch me ink all the other photos and the papers. Right, let's stick Richard down first. You can see I've just left a narrow border on the blue. So we'll leave a space. So again, we'll leave a nice little gap in between. And I know you can't see loads of the waves, but I think you can get the effect of it being water. And I like the rustic vibe. It kind of matches with our pirate situation. So now I'm going to make the pocket for this, which is also going to be the photo mat that then will enable me to put the card inside. So I've trimmed this so it is exactly the same width as the photo, which means that if we put a border around on the mat, that gives us space for the card to go inside. But I can't just use sticky foam tape, which is what I might quite often do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put flat on the pocket that then I can fold in and stick down. I want to score 3 centimeters each side. So I've got my scoring tool in this trimmer as well. That looks like it's going to work. What I'm going to do now is get some scissors and a bone folder, and I'm going to cut these corners off. We should be able to make our pocket. And sometimes I find the bone folder does make a mark, especially on the coloured cardstock paper, so I'm purposefully doing it on the back where you won't see it. So now we can mount this on the front, stick it down, that should then go in, and then we can pull it out. So this is where we've got to. I've mounted these two on the Misty Moonlight cardstock. I've left these two without mounts. There's the waves. The pockets are all ready to go. Now we need to start sticking things down and thinking about title and embellishments. And I want now to put together the scorecard with the tag that is going to be the pulled out piece from the pocket. So I've cut out 2 tag toppers. I'm going to stick them together, and then I'm going to stick them between the 2 layers of the scorecard, and then you'll be able to read the full chaos that is the story when you pull it out the pocket. The reason I'm documenting this Mini Golf Mutiny, as I'm calling it, is that right near the start of the game, I actually did 2 holes in one after the other. So you see here, my first hole I got a 3, then I got a 1, and then I got another 1. And then at that point, Katie, my sister-in-law, decided that I was getting more holes in 1. So you'll see the next hole, I got a hole in 1, and the one after. So she started fabricating the scores, and I couldn't tell you which out of any of these are real scores, and there's lots of really funny annotations on them. So it's a really great memory where the adults were being chaotic and the children were just laughing along with us. So I'm going to stick this now, hopefully in the center. I've got the new linen thread that I actually got in my unboxing that I did last week, and I thought this was quite appropriate for pirate type situations. I'm going to leave it quite long because the pocket is not at the very top of the layout, and so I want to have the thread hanging out the top so that people will be able to pull it out if they want to try and make sense as to whatever happened in this infamous night of Mini Golf Mutiny. Thread that through and put the loop in, and then you can put the other 2 threads through. And I learned as a guide that that is called a clove hitch. And now this should fit nicely in our pocket. There we go. And so then we've got the string out the top. But I'm thinking I might put something in here behind here. I have been working on the other embellishments, and I've got them all here in my little tray. The first I've kind of based off of Erin's sketch, where she had the title on a circle and she'd used one big font, or it was die cut, and then smaller writing around that was stamped. So I've done something very similar. So I've got the Mini Golf Mutiny. These stamps are actually from a typewriter stamp. I managed to do some stamp surgery and cut out the letters that I wanted. But I also thought they're a little bit reminiscent of golf balls, so that kind of made sense too. That's probably going to go somewhere like that. I've pulled out a couple of these die cut pieces that were from the Exploring Nature scrapbooking workshop that I haven't used yet. So I thought maybe they might go in behind something somewhere. I've also got this sticker from that same Exploring Nature sticker sheet, because I thought no boundaries was quite appropriate for a golf layout. And I was kind of thinking that might fit here. Let's just pop it there for the moment, and we can see if we like that, and we can trim it to fit if we do. I've made a lantern because I noticed on this here, on the pirate ship with Sky, there's a lantern on the front of the ship. And I had that lantern, and I'm going to put that down here somehow. But because this is quite thick, because there's 2 layers of cardstock and the photo, as well as then paper layers, I've put some thin foam tape on the back, so that just kind of levels it off to a more similar level. And I am thinking I will possibly put not this whole circle. I think I'm going to need to trim it, but some of that coming out from there, just to give something for the lantern to stand out against, for it to be grounded on. But I haven't cut that yet, so we shall see. And then I've got various ferns and sprigs. So I've taken some from the new Fern and Flora dies that I just got, and I also used this die here from the Label Me Grateful dies, and I've cut those out in white, would be to colour in the green stem, so we can do that. Similarly, I've cut out some white and yellow and red flowers, because I think I'm going to have just one little set of flowers here where I'm going to build up a little scene. So I've taken this, which is from one of the nature adventure kits. I'm not exactly remembering what it's called, but it's quite a good foreground piece, and we can trim it as we want to. And then if you saw my unboxing, you'll have seen me talking about using this pub sign die, the Wonderful Scenes. Being that I thought it looked like a tavern for a pirate, I actually named it the Scorecard Swindle. So I'm going to have that sort of standing here, and that will be coming out from behind our grassy bit. Then we'll put some, like a little row of flowers maybe in front. And I also cut out a couple of bits of birthday pennants or birthday bunting, because I thought these were quite reminiscent of little golf flags. So we might cut some of these up and cut some little poles for the flags to go on, and maybe they can appear somewhere. And then I've got some of these nice big ferny bits that I'm going to have some probably coming out from here, maybe some from behind the title. Kind of feel like they're not really the right scale to go here. This seems a slightly smaller scale. Oh yeah, and I'd also got a little rock piece that we could put in there as well if we want to. Let's get the pub sign situated first, and then we can look at building our scene around that. I didn't have a small enough stamp set to stamp the pub name on, so I just printed it from my computer using a oldie worldy style font, and then I was able to put a little image of a golf ball on there as well, which I thought was cute. So I think I want to put the rock next, and then we want to decide what colour flowers we actually will have. I'm thinking potentially it's going to either be white, which is quite nice, or yellow. I think the next thing we want to do is cut this circle. So we could put this centrally. This one could go behind. Yeah, this bottom paper is more just a kind of textured piece. So I've stuck down some of the bits and pieces. I've gone for the yellow and the white flowers, and I put a little golf flag there, and then similarly over here I had these two ferny bits. I made another golf flag, but I felt like he needed to come from somewhere, so I just cut another one of these grassy knolls out to go there. So I haven't stuck this down yet. I just wanted to show you on the back because it cuts out all the pieces, but I didn't want the bulb to be transparent because you'd be looking at some strange colours. So I cut another one out in the yellow, and then I just used a bit of washi tape to fasten those on there. Here we go with our lantern now, and I'm thinking it's going to go just ever so slightly behind here. So that's the foam, and then the rest is a mixture of glue and tape runner. Up here I've put in a couple of little sprigs, and I've fixed that sticker on there now, so that just sits there. The only thing that I have left to do now is surrounding the title, and I do feel I want to put something in here. The other thought that I had was it might be nice to do one more golf flag, and because we've got the red up here, and we've got red and yellow here, and red and yellow and white here, and red and white here, I thought we could take one of these yellow pennant flags and have the little golf flag up there, but it can't just be there on its own. I've kind of got a couple of ideas. Either we build out a bit more of a cluster of some greenery, because we've got these pieces. We could do something like that, but then I think possibly we still need something for it to sit on. So either another little bit of the grass, or I could do another rock. And I have got a different kind of mountain scenes die set, so I could get a different rock from that one. And then I'm going to put my journaling here, and I haven't quite decided what format I'm going to put the journaling in. I finished off the last bits of embellishing I was going to do. I went for the grassy knoll again. The mountains didn't really seem grassy enough, they were quite rocky. Just put a couple, 3 trees in there to give it a bit more texture. Built up this cluster here just using the various sprigs. I've added these in. I literally just coloured the stalks in with the Spectrum Noir Tri Blend Dull Green, the darkest shade, and made an amazing difference. I love them. I did another one here, so we've got 3 of those spread out now as well. And then I just want to put a little bit of embellishment on. I like both these sparkly dots, and the colours are great for the layout, But I also pulled these white ones because I thought they could be little golf balls. So I think I'm going to just do 2 or 3 in each embellishment cluster of these. Okay, so I have printed out the journaling and I've gone for strip journaling because we've got such dark backgrounds that it needed to go onto a light background, but being that we've already got several kind of pale bits, I didn't want to add, you know, another circle or a tab or something. So I decided this was the best way to get the story down. And there we have it. The Floodlit golf photos, the botanical paper, and a scorecard that was a complete work of fiction. The scorecard really did become the hero detail. Katie kept it with such tremendous confidence and absolutely no accountability. The memory is right where it belongs now, in that layout. If this is the kind of problem solving that you enjoy, hit subscribe and join the gang. We're here every Friday. But next week, we're not going to be doing a paper layout. We're going to be talking about the layout of the new craft room. So if that's something that you want in on, hit subscribe and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.